It is end of April and summer is coming up, so we've got a lot of progress to talk about. I'm going to share my screen here, and this is data on a survey provided to our tutors. And the question that they were really asked is, what can we do better, and how can we reach out to be more proactive? And so these are some of their suggestions. Have an information table at Welcome Back Barbecue, and hopefully we can do that this year. That send out flyers. And we really need to get instructors involved. That's something we heard very loud from the tutors, to really get instructors involved, to get students to tutoring from day one, so that it's proactive. Keep sending out emails to students, and we're actually putting together a newsletter that will go out each week with information to students to kind of solidify those processes so we don't bombard students with emails each and every day. Put together posters in the classroom. So this is for Joe, and we'll task Joe and his team with this task of putting together posters for tutoring, and remind students of the informality of tutoring, that they really can drop by and stop by and see someone when they need to. And so we're really talking about how to be more flexible and patient, and also to reach out to students to make this fun, not something that that students should be worrying about. There are a couple areas that were mentioned that were hard to find tutors to tutor in certain subject areas like nursing. So I'll be reaching out to those program directors to see what we can do to find people earlier and make sure we have people on staff to help. So exciting results, and I was really glad at that everybody pretty much participated in this survey. So that's great news. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Culler. All yours, Dr. Culler. Good to see you.
Okay, so the first part is I'm actually going to present on behalf of Joe because he's not able to be here today. So his wildly important goal, of course, is to create the high level of awareness regarding the Michigan Reconnect program, and he is working on driving up traffic to the website with that goal of 350%. So where they stand today, they have 4,413 unique page views through April 22nd. That's up from 3,039 since mid-February. The goal is 4,809 by June 1st, so they are extremely close to meeting their goal, which is great. Billboards have gone up. So these billboards are around promoting the Michigan Reconnect program. It's a great message to students or potential applicants. If you're 25 years or older, you could qualify for free tuition at MCCC. That is exactly the message that we want to be getting out. And he has billboards in 6 locations. So these should all be very high traffic locations. This should be drawing a lot of attention to the Michigan Reconnect program. And Joe provided us with a nice map so that we could see where those locations are available. Okay, so in the financial aid office, we are working on increasing our FAFSA completion, and we continue to do very well with that. What was very interesting to me is yesterday morning, as I was going through the daily notifications we received from the National Association of Financial Aid Administrators, there was a very short article addressing the fact that FAFSA completion is down in Michigan by 12%. And if you look at the previous slide, of course, we're doing quite well in our 2021-22 FAFSA completion. So when I saw this article, I decided to dig in to some of the information we have about the FAFSAs we received here and to get a better idea of who is completing our 21-22 FAFSAs. Not surprisingly, 55% of our 21-22 FAFSAs that we have received are for individuals who are 25 years or older. Of all of the FAFSAs that we have received for the 2021-22 year, 43% of those FAFSAs are for people who are on the rosters we are receiving from the state of Michigan, who are eligible for the Frontliners or the Reconnect program. So I think that this data here really shows that Michigan Reconnect and the Futures for Frontliners continue to drive a lot of the applications we're receiving for financial aid, a lot of the applications that the admissions office is getting. So far for fall enrollment, 174 of our students are on those Michigan eligibility rosters for Michigan Reconnect and the Frontliners, which is a total of 23%. So these are really high numbers. You can just see how these programs are influencing our enrollment, what we're experiencing in summer, and what we can expect to experience in fall. For the summer semester, we're up to 97 Michigan Reconnect eligible students who are enrolled. 41% are receiving Michigan Reconnect, 53% are receiving Pell. And we did the breakout, I updated the breakout numbers so that we could see our new versus continuing versus previously stopped out. I had a conversation with Ryan on Monday this week. We went into the state database and looked up individual Michigan Reconnect applications for those students who had stopped out, because on their application to the state, they identified the biggest obstacle they faced when they were previously enrolled. The most common obstacle our students who had stopped out and are now returning in summer reported was paying for college. So these programs are really, really critical. It's removing the major obstacle the majority of the students had reported. And then the next in line students reported was a combination of either balancing work with family and school or other life events. What this really shows us is that the students who had stopped out and are returning, we definitely need to make sure that we are there for them to provide them the services that they're going to require and any of the assistance that they need so they'll be successful.
Can I add to that, Valerie, as well? And correct me if I'm wrong, but that data really showed that half of those students were in good academic standing when they stopped out. So it truly was not an academic issue, it was a financial issue.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, that was outstanding. Mr. Refko, how are you?
Good, good. Okay, so for admissions and guidance services, a couple slides that we have here. This is our slide that continues to show the year-over-year applications compared to a year ago at this date. We continue to still trend upwards, showing our application rates have increased, so that's obviously a good sign. Continue to focus on the 2021 graduating class. As of the other day, we're still lagging a little bit towards the final end goal of the 2020 graduating class, and we have a phone call campaign and waiting on an output of 2021 grads who have applied to us but have not taken that next step of meeting with the office to continue their enrollment. So I'm looking to start that campaign here very quickly. Summer enrollment still looking great. Head count as of the end of the day yesterday was 741. Our head count for summer 2020 was 513 during pandemic summer, and year prior was 830. So we're making some good way on our summer enrollment. I'd like to put the note of kind of the comparison of where we're at this time last year for summer 2020, and we're up in every category: head count, credit hours, billable credit hours, and that's continued to actually rise this week because that report's always generated at the beginning of the week on Monday. So we'll see the new numbers here soon. Fall 2021, fairly similar as far as the actual overall numbers. So we're at 754 for our head count for the fall semester. 2312 was the fall 2020 number. Same things, I made the notes, the up on head count, up on credit hours, up on billable compared to this time last year. So that's always a nice trend to see. As we move forward, at this time last year, we did have a pause in fall registration. So comparatively, will be a little bit tricky, but we are trending up and looking towards that goal of increasing enrollment for this school year. So that is everything that I have for admissions and guidance services.
Tracy Vogt, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So before I talk about WIG, I do want to talk about summer deregistration. We've spent a lot of time on outreach to that group of students this week, texting, emails, phone calls. So hopefully on Monday when we drop for non-payment, that number is very small, but we shall see. So my department is working on very similar WIG as the overall student services team WIG of increasing graduation rates as well as retention rates. And one of the ways we are doing this is by helping students declare majors and tracking whether or not students are taking classes within their pathway so that we can graduate them as fast and as efficiently as possible. So the action that we've taken on this since our last meeting is that we have successfully implemented a weekly alert system for students taking courses outside of their program of study. We did identify 60 students for the fall who are enrolled and taking classes that are not part of their declared program. We are currently reaching out to these students. Hopefully some of them are just in the wrong program, so we'll get that corrected, and we'll adjust schedules for others that are not in the right program or right courses. So that outreach has started. It's probably going to take us a little bit to get through this first list, but then we plan on running this weekly and reaching out to students weekly who we've identified that need to be called. So we will continue working on that throughout the semester. Let's see. We do plan on also sending out our first recurring audit letters once winter grades are posted. And we will be reaching out to students with 15 credit hours or more completed. And that is one of our strategic tactics as well. So right. Next, we are also tracking FIDIAC students, FIDIAC enrollment from fall to fall and fall to winter. So as of this morning, for the fall 20 FIDIACs, 32 of them are registered for fall 21 courses. So that number is increasing. We have done some outreach to these students and will continue outreach to these students throughout the summer. I did reach out to faculty advisors this week to request that they reach out to their advisees to encourage registration. Many of them have gotten back with me and have reached out to students. So I hope that outreach has helped. We sent a text last week to this group of students just encouraging them to register before winter semester ends. So we have seen a significant increase since last week. So I hope those efforts have made a difference. And that's where we are this week.
That's great work, Tracy, and you're really addressing a concern that several faculty have voiced in that they feel that people that are on their advising lists are inappropriately placed out of field. So when we go back to those students and find that they're really not taking courses out of field, but rather their field is marked incorrectly, are we changing their advisors as well?
Yes, we will be doing that.
Fantastic. Great work.
Thank
Great
you.
work, everyone. We'll take it offline.